All right, hey guys, welcome back to section 2, AI Technologies, module 2.2, Development with AI. So this module is dedicated to showing you how to build applications using AI, meaning using no-code tools to make applications, whether that's mobile or a web application or a SaaS. This is more for people that want to learn how to build, launch, and scale your own micro SaaS business without writing a single line of code. This module has everything you need to bring your ideas to life. In this module, I will be showing you how to 1. Find an idea, 2. Developing your app, and 3. Getting your first paying customer. So this is going to be the no-code blueprint. So let's go. So what is no-code AI? So no-code AI allows you to create AI-powered applications or automations using visual interfaces and drag and drop tools, no programming required. These platforms often offer built-in models, APIs, and logic flows, making developing software products a lot easier and efficient. So number 1, finding an idea. So number 1 is that first you want to identify problems, not ideas. So instead of asking, what can I build? Ask, what are people struggling with that I can solve? So where to look for problems, how to answer this question. So go to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or Discord groups. That's number 1. These are the platforms that you want to go to and start reaching out to people, finding different groups, different, videos in that niche or content in that niche, going to the comment section or, getting a leads list. And from that specific niche or problem you want to solve, going to that niche and, asking this question, what are some people struggling with that I can solve? And number 2, Reddit. Reddit is also very, very popular. So you can go on there. You can see all the different threads within that niche and start asking questions. Start asking questions to these people in that specific niche, on these threads and see how they respond and see how they feel. Number 3, you can also do niche forums, such as for lawyers, coaches, or dentists. And number 4, you can do job boards. What tools are people hiring for? And number 5, you can also go on freelance platforms such as Upwork or Fiverr and just see what clients request often. Try to identify a problem in a specific niche. And so step number 2, narrow down on niches with money. So focus on industries that spend money and have repetitive workflows. So for example, high potential niches, if you don't know what you want to solve, these are some ideas. So high potential niches with money could be real estate agents, solving problems for finding a specific problem with real estate agents, because we have, millions and millions real estate agents in the US. And, you can really figure out a problem in that specific niche and they're willing to pay for that. Or number 2, e-commerce brands. E-commerce brands are also very, very popular and they have a lot of problems. So you can develop software tools in there as well. Number 3, coaches and course creators. So this one's definitely on the rise. Personal brand is becoming very, very popular on YouTube and there's more people becoming coaches and course creators. So that's definitely an industry that's going up. So if you can find a problem with that niche specifically and solve it using software, it's definitely going to be very, very profitable. And number 4, local service businesses, such as dentists, gyms, cleaners, and that's also going to be one avenue. Number 5, HR and recruiters. And finally, SaaS companies themselves. So startup companies, startup tech companies are also, they have internal, they don't have, there's a lot of startups that don't have efficient internal tools, or they need to develop an MVP quick. You can also come up with a software product that kind of solves, SaaS companies' problems as well. And so step number 3, when it comes to finding an idea, is validate demand with fast tests. So what that means is before building, validate that people actually want your software product. So ways to validate your idea is to create a landing page with a waitlist, using Card or TypeDream. These two software tools allows you to create one page kind of landing page. You can put your software product on there, what it does, and have a list of people go through there to see what your product is about. And you can have Q&A, question answer with these people and see what they really want, what their problems are, and try to solve it. So number 2, post mockups on X or LinkedIn and ask, would this help? So X and LinkedIn is also very, very powerful. A lot of SaaS and tech bros are on X. So if you want a lot of quick feedback in the tech community, they're definitely on X. And also LinkedIn is very professional, and a lot of people are on LinkedIn, especially the professionals, and there's constant posts going on LinkedIn. So you can definitely make posts on there and see what our people are looking for, and asking if your software product is actually going to help them. So number 3, you can send emails to 10 to 20 people in a specific niche and ask, would a tool that helps you X be valuable? Would you pay for it? So go into a specific niche, find 10 to 20 people, find out their emails, and send them an email, describing your tool, and most importantly, tell them, would this be valuable? Would you be willing to pay for such tool? And get some feedback from these emails. And step number 4 is spot opportunities for automation. This is big. When the AI wave comes with a lot of automation. So if find what people do manually that wastes time, requires repetitive tasks, and needs data cleaning or formatting. So automation is going to play a major role if a business or a person is struggling with any of these 3. So example ideas would be automated client onboarding for consultants, or lead enrichment from LinkedIn plus email finder, or Instagram content repurposing into blog posts. So those are just few examples they can think about when it comes to integrating automation into your software product. And step number 5, so use no code to prototype fast. So here are all the tools or options that you can use to build your software product. So tools to build fast. So number 1, if your goal is to build a SaaS using an AI tool, you can definitely use Bubble. And so Bubble is a no-code platform to build full web applications. And it's great because you can create complex apps with user logins, databases, and workflows, all without having to code anything. So a use case for this would be, SaaS products, marketplaces, and internal tools. And then at number 2, we have, if your goal is to build specifically mobile application, you can use Flutter Flow. So it's a no-code builder for creating cross-platform mobile apps using Flutter. So it's great because you can design, build, and export real Flutter code, and it's great for scalability. And this is a use case for if you want to build an iOS or Android apps or prototypes or MVPs, minimal viable product. And number 3, so for UI and for designing the UI for your software product, is that you can use either Figma or Framer. So Figma is a collaborative design tool for UI, UX design and prototyping. And similarly, Framer is also a visual site builder for interactive animated websites. So you can also come up with a UI on Framer as well, but more likely you want to use Figma if you want to just develop UI specifically. So why they're great is that Figma is perfect for UI design, and Framer can turn those designs into live, stunning sites. So a use case for this, again, is web design, mobile UI mockups, and landing pages. And at number 4, we have the goal of building a software product using an AI app builder fully. So you can use Lovable. It is also a new and a very, very powerful tool to create software products from literally just prompts. And so it is an AI-powered no-code builder for creating applications fast. So it's great because it focuses on speed, simplicity, and beauty, and lets you generate and deploy, applications in minutes. And what's special about Lovable is that it's integrated into GitHub. So whatever code, Lovable comes up with, it is directly integrated into your GitHub. So you can go on your GitHub and manually edit the code to the way you like to, make a better software application. So it provides flexibility as well. So Lovable is the go-to tool if you want to build an application without having to code or without having to use no code, because Lovable pretty much does it all automatically for you. And one major disadvantage with Lovable is that it's an AI tool that you just feed it prompts and it comes up with the application. So you don't have direct hands-on editing. Pretty much the AI is doing pretty much what it wants to come up with the functionality that you want in whatever image that it wants. So you have minimal editing or hands-on editing unless you go on the GitHub and start editing the code yourself. But again, Lovable is a great tool if you want to use, an AI to build your application. And so the fifth and final option is using Cursor if you want to solo develop the application with some minimal help of AI. So Cursor is an AI first code editor that helps developers write, debug, and understand code a lot faster. So it's great because it acts like a coding copilot inside your IDE. Super helpful for productivity. And so again, a use case for Cursor is that it's for software development, learning to code, and building apps faster with AI, going through the solo route. So those are pretty much the 5 options that you have when it comes to developing an application using no code. And so that's step number 2, developing your app. And now some key things that you want to keep in mind when it comes to developing your app. So you want to build iteratively. So what that means is MVP first, minimal viable product first. So don't try to make everything perfect up front. So build only the essential features first. So for example, can users sign up or log in? Number 2, can they perform one key action, such as adding a task or track progress? Can you collect feedback? So you want to build the MVP first, your primary functionality first, 1 to 5 primary functionalities of your application. You don't want to develop the entire application first. You want to build a couple of features and get as much feedback as soon as you can. So again, tip, launch quickly, improve based on real usage, and iterate weekly. And another tip is, again, test with real people. So get feedback as early as possible. Watch how users interact with your application. So use Loom or Zoom recordings and see how your users are interacting with the app, or track, or you can use tools for tracking like PostHog, Logsnag, or even Google Analytics to see where your users are spending most of their time on the app and how are they using the app. And again, a tip, ask 3 to 5 people from your target audience to use it and tell you where they get stuck, because that's also important. Figuring out, issues about your product application, quick, and fixing that quickly. That's also very, very important. And pro tip from the field is that use templates. So start with what works and customize. So you don't have to build, from zero. You don't have to build from scratch. Go online and see some of the templates that's already been used for similar applications that you want to build, and use that template. Like, you don't have to specifically use that same exact template, but kind of simulate your product to that similar template. So, and number 2 is build in public. So go on X, tweet, or blog your journey, gather early followers. So a lot of software products, like, I can give you an insider tip, is that a lot of people go on X, especially the tech community is on X, and they go on X and they would have these new software AI tools out there, and they would, just go on and post about it. Go on X and post about your product, and you would get a lot of seen on your post, and you would get some comments and see what people would say about your application. And one key factor with this is you want to stay consistent. Your tweet is not going to blow up, the first time or the 10th time. Maybe in the 20th or 50th time, you'll get more and more eyes on your application. And number 3, document everything. So especially workflows, so you can switch tools or onboard devs later. So once your application gets, some users and you start to scale, and you might want to, switch to another tool, or your application gets so big, you want to hire developers to further enhance the application. So keep track of all the workflows, document everything. And number 4, mix no code and low code. So eventually you might want to connect APIs or write custom logic. So you don't want to depend fully on no code. You might want to integrate a third party or an API or write a custom logic in the future. So you definitely you don't want to focus too much on no code. You can take that code from, when you build an application, you can take that code, put it in your GitHub, because in the future you might want to further enhance your application and write custom logic to your code. And so number 3 is getting your first paying customer. I know this is really, really important. So getting your first paying customer for a software product is all about solving a real problem, talking to the right people, and making it easy for them to say just yes. Here's a simple, focused game plan that works even if you're starting from 0. So here we go. So step-by-step plan to getting your first paying customer. So again, find 10 to 20 people who have this problem. Go where your users are already complaining and asking for help, like on, again, Reddit threads, search in TikTok or Instagram. Go on specific content in that niche, read through comments, comment back, reach out through DMs, direct messages. Go on X. A lot of the tech bros and a lot of tech people are on X. And you can also utilize Facebook groups. You can also go on Indie Hackers or Discords. Discords are also very, very big when it comes to the tech industry. Go on like the AI Discord, or there's a lot of Discords. Hop on Discords, find some tech Discords and hop on Discords and start asking questions. Start direct messaging people about your application. Again, you can also do LinkedIn DMs, and you can also do YouTube. And what you want to do for YouTube is that once you come up with an MVP for your application, go on YouTube and make a video about it. Document your journey, put it out, put it all online on YouTube, because you're going to get a lot of views, you're going to get some comments, and you're going to be able to understand and feel what your users want. So definitely document your journey, and that's how you can start getting 1, 2, 3, 10 people, early users to your application, and go from there. And your existing network as well. So don't skip this. If you already have an existing network, like if you're in school and you already have a network, or if you have a job and you have a network, ask there as well. Get some input. Or you can also go on Google and search looking for tool or anyone else struggling with problem. So you really want to find that specific, you have your application and you want to find the people that this is going to solve the problem for. So that's the first step to getting your first paying customer. Now, once you start getting some eyes on your content, then you want to start reaching out with a personal offer. So skip the spammy pitch and instead go with, for example, this. Hi name or hey name, I saw you mention struggling with X. I'm building a tool that solves exactly that. Would love to give you early access and set it up with you. Would you be open to trying it out? So then send them a Calendly link, Loom video, create a personal Loom video explaining your product, or direct them to a sign up page, like we talked about, creating a card or type dream landing page, send them there to learn more about your product. And from there, they can have early access. So now step number 2 is that you want to reach out. Once you start getting some eyeballs, you want to start reaching out to these people, direct message these people, whether that's on YouTube, X, or other platforms, TikTok, whatever platform that you choose, start reaching out with personal offers. And step number 4 is make it stupid easy to say yes. So don't ask them to figure it out themselves. Help them win quickly. So set it up for them manually if needed. If they needed an account registered, set it up for them. So make the process smoother in the beginning, easier. Jump on a Zoom to walk them through it, right? You want to be as much personal as you can. Your customer is really, really important, especially in the beginning. And you want to fix bugs fast. So when you get feedback, if there's a bug or something that they don't like, if they don't like something about the specific part of your application, you want to fix it, immediately. And always over deliver. And finally, for step 4 is that you want to use or integrate a payment or a subscription model into your product. For example, integrating Stripe into your application. So most of these no-code AI tools, they would allow you to integrate a third party. If you're using a subscription model for your app, they would allow you to integrate a third party payment processing, such as Stripe. So you want to make sure that you also add that to your application to get your first customer and get paid. So, and once you do that, once you get your first customer and get paid, is that you want to turn them into proof. So once they get value from your product, ask for testimonial. This is very, very huge. You want to have as much testimonials for your product as possible. Having testimonials, this will make your application much more reputable. When new people come to see your product, they can trust your product because it's been used and they see that other people used it and you have good reviews. So getting testimonials is very, very crucial. And turn that into case studies. Make some videos about how your users are using the app and what it helps them with. So go on Instagram and see how tech creators that are creating new AI apps and how their users are giving them testimonials. See how it's structured and create similar structures to that. And then obviously share it publicly. So create specific social media accounts for your app and share the testimonials on there and share what your product does on there. And finally, you want to use it in your outreach to the next customer. So when you're outreaching, whether that's email or sending direct messages, you want to use those testimonials. You want to use it in your outreach, again, to build up your reputation and they can trust you. And the key here is that social proof turns one customer into 10. And so some final bonus tactics. So number 1 is that you want to pre-sell with a landing page plus Stripe. So before you launch your app to the general public, you want to have a small group of people to, like beta users to use your app and pre-sell them with a simple landing page plus a Stripe. So that's one tactic that you can use, to get some feedback and develop your product even better before launching it to the public. And number 2, offer free trial access in exchange for feedback and testimonial. So if you're finding it hard to get your first, paying customer, then in the beginning, just do, an exchange for feedback or testimonial. Let, a user use your application and then they would just give you feedback and a testimonial. So you can use that to upsell other potential users. So you don't have to get paid for the very first customer, but you can exchange that for a feedback or testimonial. Number 3, run a giveaway in a niche group. So for example, you can say free access to the first 5 people who struggle with X. And again, this could be for a specific niche and just going on there and asking for early users to your application. And number 4, build in public on X, on YouTube, show progress, ask for input. We already discussed this. This is very, very, very important. You really don't want to overlook this because that's pretty much what the majority of software applications creators would do, is they would go on X and YouTube and pretty much show their progress. And from there, they would get eyeballs. And then from there, they would ask for input and they would just develop and enhance their application better and better. And finally, number 5, bonus tactic. And this is going to be one of the biggest tactic or hacks that you can use, is that you can use affiliation with content creators on Instagram, TikTok, and X. So if you want to really boost your sales for your app very, very quickly, you want to do affiliation programs, right, for your application. And there's quite a few affiliation programs that you can use for your application. But the main thing here is that you want to reach out to content creators in that specific niche and tell them, hey, here's my software product. If you can promote it for me, I will give you a percentage. And if you're giving them a good percentage and they see that your product is very valuable to them and to their followers, they are going to promote your product and you're going to get a lot more eyeballs and you're just going to scale really, really fast, because that's pretty much what everyone does in the tech industry, is that number 1, they use affiliation programs with content creators and influencers. And so that pretty much wraps it up for this module, where I pretty much gave you the no-code blueprint, where we talked about number 1, finding an idea, number 2, developing the application, and number 3, getting your first paying customer. And so with that being said, thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next section.